Time for Tom's Real Food Podcast.
This week's podcast is brought to you by Keto Clean Eating, Tommy Spice, spice up your life with Tommy Spice, Meg's Mysteries every Saturday, and this Wednesday's video is going to be ribs a la Francaise. Let's go to the podcast.
Everybody, welcome back. I'm Tom Garber, the Keto Cook. Today on Tom's Real Food Podcast, we're going to go back and we're going to discuss some more of about different spices. And I came across a couple old utensils I used to use, so we're going to talk about that also. So we're going to start off with I try to buy parsley, okay, and as you can see, this is a I guess maybe 3 or 4 days old. Marie takes it, cuts the ends off it, and puts it in water, okay. If she doesn't do it, it's starting to perk back up again. But it only lasts a day or so if you leave it alone, okay. You're spending a lot of good money for it. So what happens is 9 times out of 10, once it does go south on us, or it starts getting a little to the point where she'll dry it, and this is what I use to garnish the plates and stuff that you see. But there's no better way of doing it but to show nice fresh parsley. Okay. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I like to use oregano, okay, Mexican oregano. Now, the difference between Mexican oregano and whole oregano, as you can see right here, let me get that close in on there. Now, that is Mediterranean, either from Italy or from Greece or somewhere in the Mediterranean. Now, this has a distinct smell to it, okay? It's very earthy. It has almost like a bitter smell to it, but it's predominantly used in Italian dishes, Greek dishes, and stuff like that. But I came to Mexican oregano. Now I'm going to show you this different here. The difference between this and the other one. Now this is coarse, so you got to grind this up, but the flavor is more defined. Now, 2 different plants, not the same. They have similar characteristics, but as you can see, let me move this one over here. As you can see how tightly, when this is ground up, okay, and you put the 2 together, this, in my eyes, this Mexican oregano has a deeper flavor. So when I use it, okay, I like to have a deep flavor of the oregano, and it really does shine through. So, as you seen last week, we did the Tommy Spice, okay, and also, let me get this out of the way, and also the pepperoncino that we did. I'm trying to hold it so you don't see the lights. This one, much hotter since I added the Scotch bonnets to it. I mean, just unbelievable. Now, some of the other go-tos I like that a lot of people don't use anymore. It seems like the theme of this podcast here is things from the past and what's being used in the future. And the reason why I was thinking about this is because I used a couple. When I made my homemade sausage, I use whole fennel. All right, that gives it the flavor, with the sausage. Now, whether you make sweet, okay, or hot sausage, can't go wrong with that. It's got a great flavor. Also, I use a lot of rosemary. Now, what's different about out west compared to back east, we have, it looks like hedges all around the property that I live at, and it's all rosemary bushes. I mean, sometimes the aroma, usually if we walk up to the pool and I'll grab a handful of it, I mean, just the aroma is unbelievable. But we don't cook with this stuff anymore. It's just basically, I mean, SPG or some kind of rubs, and people are naming, and there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about anybody's rubs or anything like that, but it's pretty common. All right, heat in it, okay, black pepper, salt, and you have paprika and other, a little bit of citrus in it and stuff like that. The tastes have changed, but I like getting back to the old way of doing things, and the flavors are fantastic. Now, this Wednesday, you're going to see I did ribs. Okay, I did. It was getting ready. I was going to do them. So I was going to do them in my smoker, not to smoke them, but I was going to slow roast them outside. This way I didn't have to heat up the house. It's still warm out here in Las Vegas. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to turn around and slow roast it, and then and then take it to another level with making a different sauce. Rather than everybody goes to barbecue sauce, or they go to heavy rubs and stuff like that. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and you're gonna see this week. I made a different type of sauce for it. You have to tune in, but when you do, leave a comment down below that you've seen me talk about it here on the podcast. Now, there again, Mexican oregano. Give it a try. Much cheaper than regular oregano. This right here is almost $10 or $12 for this size. Okay, and this, and there was a bag left of it. It's close to almost like 3/4 of a pound, and I got it for like $2. I mean, you can't go wrong with the flavors and stuff on here. So as we were talking, I was talking to Marie about it, about old stuff, that different trends that sort of fell by the wayside. And what made me think about it was nothing lasts. I mean, I can remember back, in the restaurant days, I had a nice mixer that, would last, and you took care of it. And if something did go wrong, you could have somebody come in and fix it and stuff. Not no more. Not anymore. I had my food processor gone, blew up. All right, can't fix it. What do? You throw it away. You have to buy another one. So there's no more repairing stuff. It's not made like it used to be. Now, I don't want to sound like the old guy, you know what I mean? Complaining about it. But see, things seem to last much longer, 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago, before it started getting to that throwaway method. Now, looking through some of the true and tried stuff that you don't see too much anymore. Okay, see right there? Let me get a little closer. You know what that is right there? That is a shrimp deveiner. Okay? Don't use it no more, because you know why? Shrimp comes already deveined, shell split, and you don't need this no more. Yeah, so things just don't last anymore like they used to. Now my meat grinder, I did a video making sausage, and just as I finished with the second grind, boom, the shack broke on it. There again, nothing lasts. So what I gotta do now is I gotta either look into getting another sausage grinder or a meat grinder, or to continue, or look for the newer gadget. We found this in the drawer. Now this right here, all right, that is for pasta. All right, as you can see right here. This is to make ravioli. What you would roll this, okay, onto the pasta, or you would crimp the edges with this. Now this is my mother-in-law's. I believe, yeah, I mean, this is super old, right there. But you don't see it no more, because you know why? Everything's frozen. You buy it frozen. And they tell you fresh made pasta, frozen. I don't think so. That's another thing that you stop back and think about. What's not needed anymore? Can opener, bottle opener. Okay. Very rarely do you see these. Okay, because everything's either twist off. Okay. I mean, there again, another gadget. Really don't need. It's kind of crazy. Now, this is one of Marie's favorite. Okay, this right here. Let me show you up close. In here, you would put the wedge of cheese. All right, and you would cramp it down on here, and you would crank it. All right, and then the grated cheese would come out of there. This thing works great. It's been around for years that she's had it. Okay, but this is like something that, it was like one of them little novelty things. But here it is. This thing still works. Now, talking about different crazes and stuff that different people would do, or it was like a trend, a big trend that would come out. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but everything was, man, this thing is heavy as hell. Oh! See what that is right there? That is a block of Himalayan salt. Now, my sister-in-law got me this, all right? It does work, all right? Pain in the butt to clean, All right, you can do steaks on it and stuff like that. Now, you can either use this cold, put it in the freezer for a little bit, keep it in the refrigerator, and you could do different desserts and stuff on it. I find this works really well. Heat it up, and you can cook shrimp on it. All right, there again, novelty. All right, pain in the butt to clean, but you don't see this no more. Yeah, I mean, you see sometimes on some YouTube channels they have the Himalayan salt light in the back. It's supposed to be really healthy for you and everything like that. But that's the only time I see. I don't see this no more. I don't see anybody cooking with this anymore. I haven't seen too many videos about restaurants using it or anything like that. But it's pretty cool. Comes in a little carrying case, in case you want to carry your salt somewhere. just really cracks me up. But the whole idea of this is things change. I mean, this video coming up this week, you don't have to do conventional. It doesn't have to ribs. You don't have to use barbecue sauce. Everybody gets into that regiment of the status quo. Back when I was a kid, back in the day, it was Prince Spaghetti Day. All right, everybody had spaghetti in the neighborhood, and everybody just fell in line with this guy. Friday, back in the day, Fridays for any Catholics or anything, couldn't eat meat. No meat. Fish. Okay, now for the people that don't eat, you don't see too many videos of people cooking fish anymore, or shrimp. Anytime I put a video up about seafood, it doesn't do well. People just don't understand it. And then on top of it, you get that scare, at Walmart now, the radioactive shrimp. I mean, really? So maybe the price is going to go up on it. See, I look at it in a different light of, if that was a major thing, they would have shut it down completely. It'd be all over the news, but no, it's just periodically. It's probably like just before the nightly news is going off, that's when they bring it. Oh, recall for Walmart. I mean, come on. But getting back to like seafood, some of it's very expensive. Just like with the beef. Out here in Las Vegas, we're having a hard time with tourists coming back and forth. So that's a lot to do with the tariffs and everything else like that. A lot of people boycotting the states, and but the food. Now the food industry is hurting. I know people that work in restaurants and stuff like that, especially waiters and bartenders and stuff like that. They're having a hard time right now making ends meet because most of them, they get paid minimum wage, but most of it's on tips and stuff. So, I mean, I watched a lady, it was on the news, you can go check it out. She had one of them fancy drinks, one of them big tall drinks that she had, and they were asking her, do you think that the prices out here are too high? And she said, I just paid $33 for this drink. I mean, that's completely crazy, completely nuts. So, I mean, stick with the old stuff. There again, I'm starting to sound like that old guy, but you stop and think about it. I mean, all these different. Do you remember electric knives? Everybody had an electric knife, and I would see some barbecue videos where they would cut the brisket with an electric knife and stuff like that. So, well, back in the day, the old guy, that was my carving knife. This is what I used to break down prime rib and stuff like that, taking it out. Now, on top of that, leave it to cleaver. Look at this old baby. I've had this for years. I believe my dad had it for a long time. So my grandfather was a butcher. So it might be his. I'm not really sure. But it's a Forster Brothers, okay, cleaver. Now this thing's seen some action. So, but I mean, does it work? Damn right it still works. If I have something that's a lot of bones in it or something like that, I'll whip this bad boy out and use it from there. Now back in the day, like I said, we used to do a lot of, I say it a lot, don't I, back in the day. But it's true. I had my carving knives because we would have a carving station at the Clipper, and I would bring my own knives in because everybody back then had their own set of knives. I only had a few because they would get stolen. If you had very expensive knives, somebody would lift it up or you send it through the washer or whatever if you didn't take care of it yourself. And if you can see, I had to have my initials put on it, and that's all. This one right here, I was sharpening it one time and it actually cut the wire on the sharpener, and that's when it got caught in there and shorted out. But these things are very sharp. I really don't use them because I don't make any big roasts or anything like that. But, you know, I just keep them around. Now what I would do is, on my belt, I would carry this knife here throughout the service at night. Because sometimes if you couldn't find your knife, if it was extremely busy, you couldn't find your knife, or the washer picked it up and took it and run it through the washer or whatever. So I would carry this. If I had to cut something real quick, I'd be able to pull it out. And this thing is extremely, extremely sharp. Okay. And there again, this is kind of old, but it's good steel. There again, people get. I got some people that I'm friends with on Facebook, also Instagram. They make knives, and I got to tell you, sometimes they can be annoying. They keep sending you out. Buy these knives and stuff. I'm not active anymore. I'm not in the restaurant business anymore. And I try to explain to them. I try to be nice about it. That I don't do this anymore. This type of work anymore. Only for YouTube, and I have no need for all these different types of knives. Now I got a drawer full of knives. Some expensive and some not. But in that token, though, even in the restaurant business back in the day, we would send our knives out. We had a company that would come in, and they would give us our knives. We tried them out, and every 3 or 4 days, usually it was from a Wednesday, and then Friday they would come back in and exchange the knives out for the weekend, and then pick them up again Wednesday, and we just keep swapping 2 sets of knives out that were sharpened every week. So there was really no need for me to have any kind of expensive knives and stuff like that. You see these guys nowadays come in, but they got the leather case. They open up the case and they got their knives and don't touch my knife and stuff. I found out that it was easier to use this service. I didn't have to worry about anybody stealing my knives. Okay, they were sharp. If they weren't, we'd call the guy up. Hey, I need some sharp knives here. You're slacking here. And so it was an advantage to us. The last thing I wanted to be worried about was, where's my knife, or what happened to my knife? So that was one extra load off of me that I didn't have to worry about. But getting back to the herbs and spices and stuff, there are a lot of people on YouTube that you can watch that go back in time. Go back to 1700s. You don't have to go back to then. Just like this Wednesday's video that's coming up, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I made a ribs. Okay, I was like I said, going to do them outside. We had weather come in. I mean, rain. I never seen anything like it in my life. It didn't rain, but the wind was crazy. It got black as night. I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it inside the house. But what I did was, rather than making it into a barbecue, of course you get caught into that little box. All right. What kind of rubs did you use on there? And everybody follows suit with it. I made it with a franchise sauce. Okay, like you would do chicken franchise or a veal franchise. I made the ribs into rib franchise, a la franchise. They were delicious. Step out of the box, okay? Especially with the food prices and stuff like this. Watch what you buy, but make it in a different way. So I'm going to make this one a little short today because I feel like I'm windbagging a little bit too much. But I think I'm going to do a dish, and I'm going to feature this stone here and go back in time. And I mean, you can wet it and you can taste it and you can feel the salt in it. So this is a solid block. Comes with a paper of authenticity. Okay, it's from the Himalayan mountains, right? And yeah, so what you do is you heat this up for 20 or 30 minutes, take it out. You can put it on a stand or something like that, and then put your shrimp on there and cook your shrimp. I guess it's nice if you have a cocktail party or something like that, or put some little thin pieces of beef on there. Pretty cool. All right, everybody, listen, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button. And you know what? We'll see you next Monday on Tom's Real Food Podcast. Take care, everybody.
Sit back and have a glass. Time for Tom's Real Food Podcast.